Hey everyone, this is Casual Fanatic, film reviews without the shoes. I'm Luca, your casual viewer, and I'm Caven, your fanatic. I don't know where that came from.
You laugh fast. Like, did I say it wrong?
I'm just delirious.
Oh gosh. That'd be drinking good sausage, trying to stay awake. Cool. Well, here we are, everyone. What you been up to?
Let's see. What have I been up to? Work.
That's sick.
That's about it.
I yesterday had a pretty busy day, I would say. It kind of involves my recommendation I'll be giving here at the end of this podcast. I guess I can just say at the front too, then reiterate it at the end. There's an organization called VOLO, Volleyball. I don't even know what it fucking stands for.
VOLO.
VOLO. Anyway, so there's like this membership that you can sign up for. It's $10 a month. For the first 3 months, and I think it goes to 20, but I'll be cutting it before that happens. And practically you can like go play at any of like their indoor pickleball courts.
Yeah.
Any of their sand volleyball courts, or you just sign up on their app that you're going to be there, and then you go and you play. So yesterday was my first day. My buddy, Sahil, I don't know if you know him. I think you do. He like has it, and he like goes to play his volleyball, with the sand volleyball out there. And I went up to play pickleball, so he went and played pickleball with me. I loved pickleball. It was really fun. And then we went and played sand afterwards. And after that, we went to this really good chicken sandwich spot. Gas. After that, went to his place. We hung out there for a while, went to the hot tub. Then there, we went to a diner.
He has a hot tub?
His apartment complex, so yeah.
Fancy.
This is fancy. From there, we went to like some fun diner on Colfax that's open 24 hours. It's always so busy in there. Really good. The portion food is massive, and it's good. I think it's good. Everyone there thought it was good too. So there were free trades. But anyway, then went to bed, and here we are. But I will say throughout the whole week, I was addicted to playing the finals. The video game. Yep. So I literally through the work week would stay up till 1 a.m. playing stuff.
That's wild.
And I think because of that, it's just like I'm just draining my battery.
Yeah.
I'm just like not feeling like myself.
They had a really big update on Overwatch.
They really?
Like either last weekend or like a week and a half ago.
Well, that's why you haven't seen me on Overwatch. Finals.
Like there's like a whole new game mode.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sick. But yeah, then today we're gonna have Kiki and I are gonna have like some friends over for like a dinner date kind of thing at our place. Yeah, doing it, and we're gonna have game night, and then what movie are we watching?
Today we're going to be talking about the 2024 movie Conclave. Was directed by Edward Berger. I don't know if it's a foreign last name. We're not.
Yeah, no.
Written by Peter Strahan and Robert Harris. One of those is an author. I don't know. I don't remember which one because I didn't do that much research actually. But I do know this movie is based off of the novel as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I think one of those people wrote the novel and the other wrote the screenplay. But it stars Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, and one other person that should be on here, Isabella Rossellini, who I feel like played a big enough part, but for some reason is not listed in the top of IMDb here. So, estimated budget $20 million, fairly cheap.
That's
and has made $116 million.
Wow. Crazy.
I believe it also, I don't know if it listed here, but I think it also won 2 Oscars. What for? Should have looked it up beforehand. Best adapted screenplay.
What that even mean?
So, like movies that are based on books, it's the best one of those.
Probably both. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, And obviously, this is, I mean, not entirely coincidental because it was it was getting around that time, but what was it? I think the 21st, like less than a week ago, Pope Francis died.
Yeah.
So the actual conclave, I think, is expected to be sometime between like May 5th and May 12th. So this whole process of this movie is going to be actually happening pretty
Which
soon.
is crazy. That's like maybe 2-3 times in that person's lifetime has happened.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. Well, maybe more because they always elect old people. They're like,
I guess it depends on like, because most of the time,
how long is a pope's term? Life?
For life. But sometimes it doesn't happen often, but a pope can resign. And I think the pope before Pope Benedict, or maybe it was Pope Benedict. I don't remember their names, honestly, because I don't follow the Catholic Church that much. But I think in like the early 2000s, a pope resigned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, so this movie is about the process of electing a new pope. And what did you think about it?
I loved it. I thought it was really interesting. I don't follow any religions really, so like seeing the inside of like the process of, you know, how they elect people, the drama that also unfolds kind of behind closed doors that no one really knows about. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
I agree.
Yeah. And I like the cinematography of this movie.
There was
There
gorgeous shots.
There were some super fucking cool shots where it was like, we'll talk about it later, but beautiful, pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me when you can take what like at face value sounds like it would be really boring and make it interesting.
Yeah.
Like 90% of this movie is just like a bunch of old white guys in a room talking, but it's like
it has something.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's something behind what they're talking about that will like influence a big amount of people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, like just even like, it's a quiet one person's talking. It's like the amount of attention it's mainly getting from this one. That thing was insane.
Yeah. Right. Well, I guess if you want to give a spoiler warning, we'll get into the summary.
Absolutely. Listeners, viewers, this is your spoiler warning. If you don't want the movie spoiled, hit pause on our podcast, go watch the movie for 2 hours, come back and hit play.
Very nice. So the main character is Cardinal Lawrence. It took me a while to get their names because, like,
I was like, wait, okay, who is this one? Okay, who is this one?
And he is the dean of the like cardinality. There's a word for it now, but he's in charge of all of the other cardinals. And so after the Pope dies, he's in charge of like running the conclave. And so the entire movie is just like this sort of struggle between these different characters. There's like on the more like liberal side, one of the cardinals is, his name is Bellini, and like everyone wants to support him at first because he's like super progressive and stuff like that. And then his like main opponent is, I want to say, Tedesco or something. Tedesco, is that it? Yeah, Tedesco. Who's like super, super conservative, and they keep saying like if he becomes Pope, the church is going to go back like 100 years. And so it's like all of these different machinations of like trying to keep him from winning. But then there's also this other person named Tremblay who's like not quite as intense as Tedesco, but like still not moving forward. Basically, there's like this whole thing where, there's another person, I think his name is Arayeli.
Yep.
He's a cardinal from Africa. And he gets into like a big scandal where there was a woman who he apparently had a child with like way back in the day, and Tremblay,
he was 30 and she was 19. It's just all really out there for everyone. Typical Catholic thing.
Tremblay invited this woman back to the Vatican to like purposely to cause a scene, and that was like stealing votes away from this guy. But then there was also like the separate scandal with Tremblay, where apparently on the day that the Pope, like a few hours before the Pope died, he had a conversation with him and like tried to make him resign because it turned out that he was like paying off the other cardinals to vote for him. Which is like a big no.
You can't really do that.
And so there's like all these different scandals and trying to figure out like, oh, you've got this many votes because I think they said you need like 72 or 73 votes or something. There's like a specific amount of votes that you need to become the Pope, and if you don't get that many, then the ballots get burned and you have to start the vote over again.
It's like 2/3 the count.
Yeah.
So it's that or ignore that.
And so they keep doing, I think they got through like 6 votes. They keep going through this process and no one is ever really quite there. And then there's like this imbalance between, even on the more liberal side, Aldo Bellini is the person that everyone's trying to vote for, but then there's also a lot of people voting for Lawrence, even though he doesn't want to be. Aldo said he didn't want to either, but we find out later that's like kind of not really true. But it ends up getting to this point where they've convinced everyone to vote for Lawrence. And then while that vote is happening, a car bomb goes off outside and sort of shakes everyone up. And they go into this meeting to talk about like, because the part of the process of the conclave is that all of the cardinals are kept away from everything happening outside so that nothing influences their vote.
Yeah.
Obviously, this explosion influenced everyone. And so they had a big meeting about it. And Tedesco like went off on a huge rant about how the reason that these bombings and stuff are happening and people are being killed and injured is because they're being too lax and not they're being too forgiving of other people's beliefs, and they need to get back to a stronger church. And then this new cardinal, who apparently was made a cardinal in secret.
His name is Benito.
Yes. He's from Kabul and ends up like
Afghanistan.
Yes, we heard.
The people.
In case I don't know where Kabul is.
I didn't know where Kabul was.
Sort of like counteracts that speech and talks about how they need to be more loving and welcoming and opening, and that's what's going to drive more people to the church rather than trying to push people away. And so he ends up getting the vote, and after he is elected Pope, Lawrence finds out that he is actually was born intersex, and because they found some document of him going to get some surgery in Sweden, I think, and then he said he didn't go through with it because he felt that it would be more of a sin to mess up the body that God gave him. And so obviously this is like a big deal for Lawrence because the Pope has always just been a man. But we see he sort of like the last few moments of the movie are like him sort of coming to terms with this and realizing that maybe this is a step in the right direction.
Right. Right. It seems that like he's still a man from what you see.
Yeah.
At first I was like, oh my God, he's trans. But then it was like, no.
Yeah.
One step farther. Very cool.
Yeah. So I guess we will take a break and then come back for some thoughts.
Let's do it. And we're back.
And we're back. Super chill. So I guess back to what we were talking about earlier with like how the writing helps to make things more interesting. And also, I want to say, I think the music really helps. Like some of the scenes, the music felt like I was watching like a spy thriller. Like it was like so much intrigue and like, and I was like, wow.
You're like, wait, what's he doing? Yeah, it was very good. It was very good. I can't get over how well they shot this movie. I think that's the one thing that really just brought it up. Like, if it was just like a regular kind of whatever filming, but man, they framed some of these shots so well.
The umbrella shot.
The umbrella shot was unreal. But also, like at the very beginning of the movie, when they were all in that courtyard,
Yeah.
and then you kind of see like the crossing of history and like tradition with like current age and technology.
Like all of the cardinals are arriving and they're like taking all their phones and stuff.
Yeah. Well, like there's even just like this. They have like still shots of what different cardinals are doing inside this, waiting area. They have like one still shot of the cardinal, and he's just like sitting there like on a stone.
Right.
And I'm like, that is insane. I just love. I don't know, just there was single frames with just one cardinal, and they're just like doing this minute action, but it's like
I feel like and maybe this is different for people who are Catholic, but I feel like from an outsider perspective, when I envision the Catholic Church, it always does feel very old school and traditional. And so it's always like a little strange to see them doing something so modern.
Right.
There was a show on HBO called The Young Pope, which I think I may have been wrecked at one point, but in that show, it also has to do with the Pope, obviously. And there's several scenes where you see nuns playing basketball. It was just like such a weird juxtaposition.
It's like, I forget they actually do regular shit.
Yeah.
It's like, they don't just go around praying all day and calling it a quit.
Yeah.
They like go do fun things too.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts. I don't think this warrants mention that the Pope, when the Pope passed, they like took his ring and it like, popped off the top part of the ring.
Yeah.
Whatever that was about. But then they called position the throne of the Holy See.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that. I was like, that's what the Pope was called? The throne of the Holy See? That's so sick. Are you kidding me? I was like, what?
His ring is called the Ring of the Fisherman.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So cool.
They have like towards the beginning of the movie, right after the Pope dies, speaking of the cinematography, they have just like a really long shot of just his body, like in the back of, I don't know, was it
car?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
the ambulance.
Yeah,
He was on the stretcher,
like,
shaking side to side.
yeah. But it was just like, it just held on his dead body for a while, and he was just like,
Yeah, it was like him, like kind of like rattling, that like the car stopping, and like him hitting like the top of the. Very interesting.
they definitely did not shy away from the scandals of the Catholic Church.
He did not.
They like brought up the history of the sexual problems, which was a big deal for the Adieli, because it was like, yeah, it was 30 years ago, but also, well, we already have enough problems with people thinking that the Catholic Church is a bunch of like creeps. So this really puts a bad light on things.
Yeah.
And then they also were showing like just blatant like racism and sexism, and like there was one scene in the lunchroom where he's like, well, obviously the Pope should be Italian because what's the alternative? And like gestures to the African people.
Yeah.
And then, like I mentioned earlier, with Tedesco giving his speech at the end, like straight up saying that the bombing, even though it's never like confirmed, like the person that was coming in and telling Lawrence stuff never mentioned anything about the people who caused the explosion.
No.
But Tedesco automatically assumed that they were Muslim and was like, yeah, that's their fault, and we should be pushing back against that religion.
Yeah. I really did think that when the new member from Afghanistan, Benitez, came into the he like surprised everyone by his appearance.
Yeah.
I know that was such a cool like curveball that I mean they threw in there. For a second there, I was thinking of all the possibilities that this guy could change and alter not the movie. Like he's an imposter, he forged it, or he, he's going to throw off one of the other Cardinals' plans that they had all along. Because now it's going to throw off the boat if they won.
I thought that Cardinal Tremblay was going to have like secretly killed the Pope somehow. Like it felt like he was like, I've planned all this and now the Pope has to die.
Right. But in reality, it was just like he knew that he was going to be dying.
Right. So he just planned for it.
He planned for it.
He's like, he's old, he's going to die soon.
Right. I'm like, wow. Because, they were like, oh, yeah, the Pope said he needs to resign himself and basically dip out.
Yeah.
And then killed him. That's what my thought, too.
Yeah. Well, and also, Cardinal Lawrence offered to resign, and the Pope told him no.
Right. Which shows the character, I feel like, though.
Yeah.
Even though he had been losing his faith in the church, which is why he wanted to resign.
I do think that I'm going to say Bellini, I'm still forgetting their names. But like I mentioned earlier, he sort of gave himself away because in the beginning he was like, I really don't want to be Pope. Like, I think only a crazy person would want that position. And like, that's kind of why people were supporting him. Because like, if someone wants to be Pope, then that's dangerous.
Yeah.
But then later on in the movie, he's confronting Lawrence because, like I said, Lawrence was getting some votes too. And he was like, oh, is this your secret ambition? You're trying to undermine me? And Lawrence is like, no, I really don't want to be Pope. And Bellini said, everyone wants to be Pope, deep down.
Right. Everyone already has a name plan.
Right.
For Pope. But also, I just want to mention all the shots of Lawrence walking and you just hear him breathing.
Yeah, I noticed that even like there's so much breathing.
Yeah.
And like when he
has the camera chumped down,
he's like
looking
at files and you just like
yeah, or like he's walking and like he's like
yeah. But it added to the momentum.
It did definitely keep it rolling. I just want to know why. I guess it does add like, what else are you gonna do? Yes.
Also like very not there were two scenes where one of the cardinals cries and neither of them are like pretty cries.
Yeah.
Like they were like very like damn.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's like their life thing and then something they did 30 years ago fucks their biggest life goal, I guess.
Mm. But yeah, so the first one was Cardinal Adieli crying about losing his chance because of this whole scandal. And then the second time was Lawrence. He found a note or something in the room where the Pope died. He was like searching through things and then pulled something out of the bedside table and just like sat on the bed and started crying.
I wonder what that was. Like, I'm mad they never showed like what they were reading actually. Because I thought what Lawrence had found was just like the fact that the Pope, one, didn't trust anyone, kept tabs with everyone.
Oh, no, I remember now. It was the Pope's glasses were still on the bedside table. He did find a letter, but the thing that made him cry was he picked up the Pope's glasses and it just like brought back
Seriously,
yeah.
He liked him so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were very close.
Yeah. Also, I just want to ask a question. Maybe you can answer this. Why are they wearing yarmulkes?
I don't know exactly why, but I'd imagine it's for a similar reason that Jewish people do. It's like covering your head for respect reasons.
Okay. I was just curious about it. I was like, I know the Jewish religion has that.
Oh, cool. I did think it was like, I don't know, it made me so, like, I don't know, giddy inside when he started, like, he found that the document about Tremblay and him paying people off, and him and Sister Agnes fucking just print off a bunch of copies and lay them out in the lunchroom. I was like, ooh.
Dude, and then with Sister Agnes, that same, here's what happened there. Like, hold on. I thought I had written it down. Oh yeah, I said, Holy Sister coming in there, dropping a bomb and leaving.
Yeah.
You know that scene where she was like, we hear a lot of things and you guy, it's like rude.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit.
It's like, this is what people thought. They were right.
And she like just like bows and then leaves. I was like, damn.
Another thing I noticed when she said that, you could see Tedesco standing in the corner, and right after she dropped that bomb, he like took a little suck from a vape pen, and it was the most sassy suck ever. He was like,
the whole time his head was like that. I don't know if you know, it was throughout the whole movie. It was insane. Again, it's like the technology that like came into this thing where he's just like it's like a baby. But they don't eat that. Who knows?
That's funny though.
Yeah, real funny.
I definitely was not expecting that explosion though. That caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I know there was a scene earlier where you like hear an explosion and it's like a bit farther off and like the table shakes and everyone's like, what was that? But then like to actually like blow open a couple of windows, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty nuts. They were like, what, 54 people had died already thus far?
Yeah.
Because like a car bombing, and then the guy also strapped himself with a bomb when people were fleeing.
Mm-hmm. I did think it was also pretty baller when Benitez was giving his speech at the end. He said, we have shown ourselves to be small, petty men. And I was like, fucking got him.
True.
Like these people trying to claim that they're like trying to make the right decision by God and all this, but really they're all just like in it for themselves.
Yeah. And then he won.
Yeah.
Like right after that. And I had called somewhere in the middle of the movie. I was like, wouldn't it be so sick if Benitez wins this whole thing? And he did. Oh, you're all ruined for him. It seems like always quiet, kind of in the back, always sitting by himself, kind of away from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like when he was like, well, when Lawrence was like,
don't vote for me, I don't want it.
He was like, well, you're the only other one that I see that deserves this position.
Yeah.
He's like, sorry, I'm still going to vote for you. Like, you're not going to sway me with words. And also his name, Benitez, that he chose at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, well, what are we going to call you? And he goes, innocent. I was like, oh.
I think when I was looking for trivia online, I said, assuming that none of the other popes in the history of this movie had changed, he would be like Pope Innocent the 14th.
The 14th?
Yeah.
Wait, there's arson. What? Oh, I thought it was like the first.
Pretty common Pope.
Oh.
So was John.
Yeah. Oh, that's lame. That takes away from it.
Sorry.
Damn. Also, I wonder what like the pushback is from Lawrence having broken into the Pope's room and breaking the seal.
I don't know. I wonder if there was like
an investigation
punishment for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pope Innocent the 13th was Pope from 1721 to 1724. So it's been a while.
We need another one.
The first Pope Innocent was from 401 to 417.
Holy crap. Wow. This is a long going religion.
Yeah.
Shane Louise. I wonder how much it's changed, like what they do. I wonder how much it's more back then, how they voted, how they went through the process versus now, what we saw in the movie. That'd be interesting to see. You know, like one point, I think it was 2020, when they chose, wait, what? I don't know, was it 2020? When they had or 2000, when they chose the latest one of the popes. They chose them, and they like burned the white smoke, but then right after they burned the black smoke because they were like, wait, like never mind. Actually, they found something out, and they said no, go.
Oh, I don't remember that. 2013 is when Pope Francis was elected.
And before that, yeah, finally.
I did think it was interesting though them showing the like obviously it would have been done differently in olden times, but like now with modern technology, they just have like little canisters for the smoke color.
Yeah, yeah. And it used to be like the color of like the little papers that they burn.
I think I was reading something where like to get the black smoke, they used to burn the ballots with hay, and the hay would give the smoke and color.
That's cool. Very cool. But yeah, I mean, going back to just like the shots at the end of this movie, we already mentioned it previously, but there's this one shot where it was raining outside, and it was like the camera view from up down, and it was like a fountain, and then you just see all of like these different cardinals walking down with like their robes, the white umbrellas,
and they're all matching. They have like their red robe and then a white umbrella.
Yeah, it was so cool.
It almost felt very like Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that.
I guess just from the color scheme, but
yeah, I mean, that was just such a sick shot. And then also at the end when like there's like this thing with like the turtles. I don't know where the turtles came from, or is it labeled like the Pope's pets or something?
They said it was a gift from. They mentioned a country, I don't remember where.
But anyway, but these turtles were known for like breaking out and then potentially getting ran over by cars, unfortunately. And so at the very end, Lawrence, he like finds, after he had this talk with Benitez, he like sees the turtle like going down the hall, kind of. And he wins, goes and brings it back, puts it in the water. And then like he stands up, like this is still like a close shot, and he like kind of see him like look up. And then like the camera immediately like is like the background underneath like one of these like colonnades, and you just see like the dark forefront and then the light back front with him just like looking up. And I was like, what a cool fucking transition. To be like you're close up to him and you see him like doing the thing so Pentle's personal, and then like switches immediately.
But it also keeps it like inside, like you hear when the white smoke comes up, you can hear everyone cheering outside, but it never shows the crowd.
Yeah, it is so sick. That was probably one of the best shots in the whole movie. When he like stands up and looks, and then the camera like pulls off. Doesn't pull off even, just switches.
Oh, also, for reference, the generally accepted history is that Saint Peter was the first pope who was one of Jesus's apostles. So, very old religion.
Yeah, it goes way back. So I don't know what year that is, but well, that's all I got.
My last thing is I think that the dead pope planned all of it out. There was a line in the beginning where when Aldo is sitting there and he's like, do you think I can take this chessboard? Because me and him used to play a lot. And Lawrence was like, who won? They said he did. He was always like 8 moves ahead. Yeah. And I think that was like kind of a hint, or like all of this stuff set up where, because we even see like the whole document thing with Tremblay was hidden like behind the Pope's headboard. So like he had all that, and he told Tremblay to invite the other woman to embarrass the other cardinal. So he's like getting both of these people in trouble. He secretly made Benitez a cardinal without telling anyone. It's like I think the Pope knew he was dying, and he just like put all these pieces in place and like not letting Lawrence resign.
Years ahead, he did this.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's good. I agree. Oh yeah, that's a really good point. How cool. And also just the architecture that you see in this fucking movie, like unbelievable. There's this one shot where Lawrence is like talking with the guy that he's always sending out to get some information for him. They're like walking down like this double stair where it's like all marble, and you can like see the back, like these bus. It's just so beautiful.
Religious architecture is always so like, I mean, obviously
right.
It's like meant to like, it's purposely extra beautiful because the architecture is designed so that when you're in that space it feels divine.
Right.
So makes sense.
It served its purpose.
It's nice to look at.
Yeah, Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into some trivia. So the first piece here is that the film has been cited as being incredibly accurate as to the conclave process. When the Pope is found deceased, he is asked 3 times if he is dead, and then a sterling silver hammer is tapped on his head before the sede vacante is declared. The papal ring, called the Ring of the Fisherman, which is because Peter was a fisherman before he became an apostle, is removed and destroyed to prevent it from being used to forge the Pope's seal on documents. An official announcement that the throne of the Holy See is vacant is made, which begins a 9-day period of mourning. The papal apartment is closed off with crimson ribbon and sealed with a wax papal stamp. The College of Cardinals are sequestered in apartments to eat and sleep between votes. Finally, the windows and doors to the Sistine Chapel, where the actual election takes place, are darkened, shuttered, and locked to maintain the secrecy of the conclave. Newer security measures are also shown in the movie, such as the Sistine Chapel being swept for electronic listening devices, ID cards being issued to all the servants after a reporter disguised as a servant was discovered during the conclave that elected Pope Benedict in 2005, as well as all members of the College of Cardinals being required to surrender their mobile phones and other electronic devices. Vatican City's Wi-Fi network is temporarily shut down, and wireless signal jammers are activated within the Sistine Chapel itself. So they really try to keep this whole thing locked down.
I'm like curious though. Like, I wonder, like, what is so special about what goes on in the deliberation?
I think it really obviously it's mostly just for tradition, I think. But also it is to stop anything from influencing it, because the goal is for them to pray about the decision and vote based on who they think is the most loyal servant of God and all of that stuff, versus if you're hearing news reports from outside, or people are hearing rumors from inside, that just messes up the whole process.
That makes sense. Okay, good. That is pretty cool. They just keep that going, and wow, it's great that we'll be seeing that in a week. Yeah, 2 weeks.
The film does imply that the dead Pope is Pope Francis in several ways. He died in a room of the Vatican guest house. Pope Francis lived in the guest house rather than in the papal apartment. Also, rubber bands are seen in his bedside table, and there is a story about Pope Francis that he used to have newspapers delivered to him in Buenos Aires, which is where he's from. And he would always collect all of the rubber bands off of the newspaper, and then at the end of every month would take them back and give the rubber bands back to the newspaper person. And it says when he was elected as Pope, he called the vendor to cancel his newspaper order because he wasn't going to be in Buenos Aires. So them showing the little collection of rubber bands in the drawer. It's
that was symbolism of that. That's really cool.
That's only the 2 trivia pieces, but
that's good trivia right there. Very cool. I love that. It's just so accurate. I think that's what makes it more. I don't know, religion has always been an interesting thing for me.
Yeah.
To look in on. Don't want to partake, but it's interesting to see what people do and how they think about this. That's really that's cool.
Yeah.
This whole process feels like you got to get inside in the most sacred thing,
right?
Catholic religion. It's the thing for the person,
right?
Nuts. I mean,
all right. Well, I guess let's get wrecked.
My rec was Volo, so download the app.
And is that only in Denver, or is that in nationwide?
That's a nationwide thing.
Okay,
pretty sure.
Cool.
Just look at the Volo wherever you live. VOLO. Then they have tons of different sports that you can play. It's a good way to meet people, especially if you're new in the city. Highly recommend it. I feel like everyone there is just out to have fun, and there's the competitive side of things. So there's also just to hang out, chill, and try to play volleyball side of things, which is what I was at volleyball yesterday. Try to play volleyball.
Well, if I haven't recommended it before, I would like to recommend the series The Young Pope because it's a good show. But also the thing that I had originally meant to rec was there is a website which I will pull up here. Obviously, you won't be able to see it, but I can show Luca, called Du Vistubel, which is there is a dam in the city of Utrecht in the Netherlands, and in the springtime, fish try to migrate through this dam. Obviously, it's closed, so they have a little opening that they can open up, but it's like an older dam, so it's not automated. Like someone has to go there and open it for the fish to get through. And so what they've done is they've installed cameras around the dam so that anyone in the world, I'll spell this out for you. It's Bisdeubel. But you can go to this website and there is a live stream underwater. And if you see a fish pull up, you can ring a doorbell for someone to come and open the dam for the fish to come through.
There's no way it's real, though.
Promise you.
Dude, that means you can just have people just ring the doorbell. It's fun. And
I'm sure they have someone double check it, but like, it's also just like, don't be an asshole.
Yeah, true. There's a lot of assholes out there.
It's also like it's not a super popular website. So
He's gonna go fish watching.
yeah, and I'll admit most of the time just blank water. If you're not, it's because like it's not like there's swarms of fish coming, but like when you do see a fish, you're like. Well, the other thing is
have you ever seen a fish start?
Because this has been going on for so long, it's like affected the behavior where like, first of all, the fish know to like go close to the camera.
No way.
And also it means predators know that the fish are going to be there, which makes it even more important for you to ring the doorbell to open, because if the fish are just sitting in front of this dam waiting for it to open, and all of the other predator fish are like, easy lunch.
Oh my God. Well, that's pretty cool. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's like the bird cams that everyone has now, where it's like, Harvard University bird cam. 24-hour stream of birds. Very cool.
All right. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family about us. If you're watching us on YouTube, which based on the numbers I've seen, most people are.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot more people watching on YouTube than on Spotify.
That's perfect.
Give us a thumbs up and hit the bell icon. Otherwise, leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. You can also follow us on Bluesky and Instagram @CashFanPod. If you want to send us a message, you can DM us, leave a YouTube comment, or send an email to casualfanaticpodcast@gmail.com. Links for all of that will be in the description. What kind of messages can you send us?
You guys can send us anything from, hey, man, love the podcast. Thanks for doing this. It's really fun watch for me, for listening for me. You can send us recommendations of movies you would like us to review, of shows you would like us to review. Let us know if there's anything in the podcast that you enjoy. Give us your feedback on the movies that we review, and tell us your opinions. Tell your family friends about us. Let us know if there's anything that you would want us to add or we could think about. There's one section that we've added here and there that we've tried out, and some mistakes, some no.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, this has been Casual Fanatic. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.